The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stood in silent brightness. Thousands of lights floated across the high dome, changing color as each delegate took their place. The walls shimmered with silver patterns that moved like slow rivers, giving the room a feeling of peace and power. Every seat was filled. From the scaled ambassadors of the Dranics to the winged envoys of the Averin, every known major race had sent their highest representatives. It was rare for so many to gather, and rarer still for all of them to agree on one subject. That subject was Earth. At the center of the room stood the Speaker of the Council, a tall being named Tharnal. His voice carried the strength of command, yet even he looked uneasy. Around him floated the image of Earth, a small blue planet rotating slowly. Its ocean sparkled under sunlight and its white clouds drifted gently. To many in the room it looked harmless. To others it looked dangerous. Tharnal raised his arm. "Honored members, the time has come to decide the fate of the Terrans," he said. "Reports show that their expansion has reached sectors once thought unreachable for a developing species. They have built colonies in record time. They refuse to accept council supervision. Their speed threatens the balance we have maintained for thousands of cycles." A murmur spread through the chamber. The ambassador of the Vorn Collective, a species known for their precise logic, spoke first. "They advance without permission. They mine asteroids that belong to the Council. They build machines without our design approval. If every young race behaved this way, order would vanish." From another seat, a tall, crystalline being stood. "They are reckless," it said in a calm tone. "Our observation teams say they test new weapons even when not in conflict. They compete among themselves for strength. What if they turn that strength outward one day?" Tharnal nodded slowly. He had heard all these arguments before. Yet there were others who saw things differently. The representative of the small but respected Lurin species lifted a hand. "They are not reckless," she said softly. "They are curious. They test because they wish to learn. They mine because they build. They grow fast because they have no fear. Is that not what we once were before we joined the Council?" Several delegates shifted uncomfortably. The Lurin were old allies of humanity, one of the few species that had shared trade and communication with Earth for years. Their words carried weight but also risk. Supporting a rising race could make enemies quickly. Tharnal looked around. "The Council must decide. Do we guide them or do we restrain them?" he asked. A wide holographic screen appeared showing a collection of reports. Each one detailed a recent human action that had alarmed the galactic community. One showed a massive human ship crossing into neutral space to rescue stranded traders. Another displayed images of new colonies on moons rich in metal and water. Each report ended with the same message: unauthorized by the Galactic Council. Tharnal continued. "The Terrans claim independence. They claim that their world answers to no one. If left unchecked, they may dominate the outer sectors within a century. That is a direct threat to stability." From the back rows came a deep voice. It belonged to Admiral Recon of the Torai, leader of one of the Council's most powerful fleets. "Then we must act," he said firmly. "Send a coalition fleet to their system. Show them the cost of defiance. A display of force will remind them of their place." Gasps echoed in the chamber. Some delegates whispered to one another. To use military power against a developing race was no small matter. It had not been done for hundreds of cycles. But fear often silenced caution. The Lurin representative stood again. "You cannot bring war to a people who have not attacked you," she said. "They are not our enemies. They only wish to live free." Admiral Recon turned toward her. His dark armor reflected the chamber lights. "And what happens when their freedom becomes our downfall?" he asked. "They build weapons faster than we can track. Their scientists challenge our understanding of physics. Their ships travel farther each year. Today they mine asteroids. Tomorrow they may claim whole sectors." Tharnal raised his hand once more to bring silence. "Enough, we will vote," he said. "But before we do, hear the final report." A holographic display appeared again, this time showing a small human probe drifting through a restricted zone near the edge of Council space. Several automated drones had detected it. The probe had transmitted a simple message before being captured. "We come in peace, exploring the unknown." Yet even that peaceful message was taken as a sign of intrusion. "This is proof," said Recon. "They do not respect boundaries. They hide their strength behind polite words. We cannot wait for them to grow stronger." The vote began. Each representative placed their hand over a glowing crystal on their seat. The light turned blue for approval and red for rejection. When all hands were raised, the chamber lights dimmed and the results appeared above the speaker's podium. The vote was clear. 12 members for action, 3 against, 1 abstained. Tharnell's voice was calm but heavy. The decision is made. The Council authorizes the Coalition fleet to move against Earth. The objective is not destruction but submission. The Terrans must accept Council oversight and disarm their expanding fleets. The Luran representative lowered her head. She had expected this, yet still felt sadness. "You are making a mistake," she whispered. But no one listened. Across the galaxy, preparations began. The Coalition fleet assembled in orbit over the neutral world of Galaris. Massive ships of many designs gathered under a single banner. The Tauri carriers gleamed with steel hulls. The Vorn cruisers floated silently with their dark energy cores. The Drannix destroyers shimmered with scales that could deflect laser fire. Each species brought its best. Within days, the fleet was ready. Thousands of crew members moved through corridors, calibrating engines, preparing jump drives, and loading supplies. They expected a short campaign. After all, Earth was considered a minor world with limited reach. Most of the galaxy believed humans would surrender once they saw the size of the Coalition armada. Admiral Riken stood on the command deck of his flagship, the Pride of Tauri. Through the wide viewport, he watched the other ships align for the hyperspace jump. "The Council has chosen well," he said to his second officer. "This will be over quickly. When we return, the Terrans will understand their place." The officer nodded. "Do you think they will fight?" Riken smiled faintly. "Perhaps a little, but they lack unity. Their world is divided into many nations. Their technology is untested against ours. This will be a lesson, not a battle." As he spoke, far away on Earth, news of strange energy readings reached human command stations. At first it was dismissed as deep space interference. Then signals multiplied. Unknown drives were detected approaching the solar system from multiple entry points. Within hours, every major observatory confirmed the same pattern. A fleet was coming. In the Global Defense Center beneath Geneva, representatives from Earth's colonies and space agencies gathered. Commander Liu, head of orbital defense, studied the data with calm eyes. "It seems they have decided to test us," he said. Around him, officers exchanged worried looks. A young technician asked, "Do we have confirmation of identity?" "Coalition transponders," Liu replied. "Every major Council species is part of it." Another officer clenched his hands. "They come to make us kneel." Liu shook his head. "Then they will learn who we are. Begin activation of Project Horizon. Quietly. No public announcement yet." Across orbiting stations and lunar bases, coded messages spread. Engineers began preparing defense satellites. Ship captains received sealed orders. On Mars, mining drones were reprogrammed into construction units for emergency platforms. Every civilian and military group knew their part. It was not panic that spread through humanity, but purpose. Back in the Council chambers, Tharnell watched the departure of the fleet through a live holographic feed. His expression was unreadable. "Let us hope this brings peace," he said. The Luran ambassador, standing beside him, spoke softly. "Or it may bring something none of us expect." Days later, as the fleet approached the outer rim of the solar system, strange readings began to appear. Small metallic objects were detected drifting between planets. They looked like debris, but they moved with precision. The Coalition sensors tried to scan them, but interference blocked the results. Admiral Riken frowned. "What are these?" "Old satellites?" His officer replied. "Possibly human relics. They have many abandoned probes in their system." Riken nodded and turned away. "Ignore them. Continue forward. We will reach orbit soon." He did not see the small lights flicker on across those drifting objects. He did not know they were part of Earth's defense network, watching, recording, and preparing. Humanity had been underestimated many times before, and each time they had adapted. Back on Earth, Commander Liu stood on a balcony overlooking the control room. He watched screens showing every sector of the solar system. "They come with pride," he said. "Let them come. We will not strike first, but we will not bow." In the quiet that followed, the stars outside seemed to shimmer brighter, as if waiting for the moment history would change. The Coalition believed they were marching toward an easy victory. The Council believed their order would be restored. But Earth was not just another young race. It was a world of builders, dreamers, and survivors. The Coalition fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system in a flash of light. Space rippled for a moment as hundreds of ships exited hyperspace in perfect formation, from the massive carriers of the Tauri to the sleek destroyers of the Dranics. The armada spread like a metal storm across the stars. Their banners shone with the symbols of the Galactic Council. Every captain on board believed this mission would be quick and controlled. Admiral Recon stood at the front of the command deck on his flagship. His eyes followed the bright dots that marked planetary orbits on the main screen. "We begin Phase 1, he said. "Secure the outer planets. Ensure no Terran ships are beyond Neptune. Once the path is clear, move toward Earth." Officers confirmed the orders. Communication lines opened across the fleet. The plan was simple: sweep forward, occupy the solar stations, and bring humanity under Council supervision. It was supposed to be a routine enforcement mission. None of them expected resistance from a world that had never fought the Council before. As the fleet advanced, the ships passed through the orbit of Neptune. The planet's blue glow reflected off the dark hulls. Drones spread ahead to scan for signs of activity. For several hours, nothing appeared. The silence of the void gave the aliens confidence. One officer said with a smile, "It seems the Terrans are smarter than we thought. They will surrender without a fight." Admiral Recon gave no reply. He had learned never to trust silence. Still, he too believed that humans would see reason. Yet at that same moment, thousands of kilometers away, small human satellites began transmitting coded signals. From hidden bases on Mars, the Moon, and Earth's orbit, humanity was watching every movement of the incoming fleet. In the underground command center beneath Geneva, Commander Liu and his staff tracked the data in real time. The holographic display filled the room with lines and symbols showing alien positions. "They are moving exactly as expected," Liu said calmly. "Phase 2 of Project Horizon will begin now. Activate the relay network." Operators moved quickly. Across the solar system, small automated units came alive. They were disguised as simple research probes or abandoned communication platforms. In reality, each contained advanced sensors and defense systems. They had been placed years ago under secret programs known only to a few world leaders. Liu turned to his aide. "Are the colonies ready?" "Yes, Commander. Mars stations are sealed. Lunar bases have gone dark as planned. Civilian ships have been moved out of range." Liu nodded. "Good, now we wait." Back in space, the Coalition fleet crossed the orbit of Saturn. The rings glowed beneath them like rivers of ice. The alien crews admired the beauty of the human system. Many had never seen such clear, bright light around a single star. They began to relax. There had been no challenge, no interception, and no warning from Earth. Admiral Recon decided to make contact. "Open transmission to Earth," he ordered. A wide projection appeared before him, showing the blue planet in the distance. "People of Earth," Recon said, his voice deep and formal. "By order of the Galactic Council, you are required to cease all independent military and exploratory activities. Your fleets and colonies will now operate under Council supervision. Submit to our guidance and no harm will come to you." The message was broadcast across every major channel. It reached Earth within minutes. People all over the planet stopped to listen. Screens in cities and homes displayed the same image of the alien admiral giving his command. The sight of the massive fleet beyond the orbit of Mars filled many with fear, but the leaders of Earth did not panic. Commander Liu received the broadcast in the control room. His officers looked to him, waiting for his response. He spoke calmly. "Prepare our reply." A moment later, a single human representative appeared on the same frequency. It was Ambassador Halen, a woman known for her composed voice and steady tone. "Admiral Recon," she said, "Earth does not recognize the authority of the Galactic Council over its people. We will continue our work among the stars. We ask that your fleet leave our system peacefully." Recon frowned. "You do not understand your position. You face the greatest armada ever assembled. We come not as enemies, but as guardians of order. Refusal is not an option." Ambassador Halen did not raise her voice. "Earth will not bow. We have learned that peace is not given by threats. It is earned through respect." The signal ended. Recon stared at the empty screen. Around him, his officers exchanged uneasy looks. The Admiral took a deep breath. "Then we proceed as planned. Move to Mars. Show them we are serious." The fleet changed formation and began its slow approach toward the red planet. But as they neared Mars' orbit, strange readings appeared on their sensors. Unknown energy signatures flickered across the system. The Vorn ships tried to analyze them, but the data shifted too quickly. On board his ship, a Dranics captain spoke through the intercom. "Admiral, We detect multiple small objects ahead. They are moving in formation, Rickon frowned. Display them. The screen filled with countless dots moving near the orbit of Mars. At first they looked like debris. Then they began to move faster, aligning with perfect accuracy. Within seconds, a field of small machines formed a wide barrier. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. Defensive satellites. They are not primitive at all. The first signal from the human network reached Earth. Commander Liu received confirmation. Admiral Rickon has reached Mars orbit, an officer reported. All systems are locked on target. Orders, Commander? Liu replied, hold fire. Let them come closer. We will not start this fight. For hours, the alien ship studied the barrier. They sent probes to test it, but every probe vanished before transmitting results. Rickon decided to move forward anyway. They cannot stop all of us, he said. Advance at half speed. As the alien fleet passed through the outer layer of the network, the hidden human satellites began recording detailed scans of every ship. Each design, each energy signature, each communication channel was analyzed. Earth's scientists had designed these systems to collect data before any action was taken. Knowledge, not power, was humanity's first weapon. In the Geneva control room, the holographic display now showed complete models of the coalition fleet. Officers worked to identify weak points. Liu stood silently, his hands clasped behind his back. They believe this is their territory, he said. They forget we built our future by surviving everything our world threw at us. We will endure this too. Meanwhile, on Mars, the few human engineers left at the surface watched the alien ships pass overhead. They stood inside domes covered in red dust, sending quiet messages back to Earth. One of them said softly, "It feels strange to see so many stars move together." His partner nodded. "Yes, but remember who we are. We came here with nothing and we made a home. We will not lose it now." Hours later, Admiral Rickon gave the order to approach Earth. The fleet left Mars orbit and began to move toward the inner planets. Venus and Mercury glowed ahead like silent witnesses. The blue sphere of Earth grew larger on the main screen. As they neared the orbit of the Moon, new signals appeared. Hundreds of human ships rose from behind the lunar surface. They were smaller than the coalition cruisers, but they moved with perfect coordination. Each ship carried the mark of Earth's United Command. Rickon's officers reacted quickly. Unidentified fleet approaching. They are forming a defensive line. Rickon studied the formation. Impressive discipline for a young race, he said. Send message to stand down. We are authorized by the Council. The message was sent. The human fleet gave no response. Instead, their ships maintained position, blocking the path to Earth. On the flagship's deck, tension grew. The alien officers whispered to one another. Why do they not reply? Are their systems down? Rickon answered quietly. No, they are making a statement. They will not move aside. For a long moment, both sides waited. The silence of space felt heavy, as if even the stars were holding their breath. Then, without warning, a series of bright signals flashed across the human formation. It was not an attack. It was a code. Back on Earth, Commander Liu received the same signal. The fleet is in position, his aide said. Liu nodded. Maintain control. Do not provoke. Let them speak first. In the alien command ship, Rickon's communication officer turned. Admiral, we are receiving a transmission from the Terran flagship. Put it through, Rickon ordered. The face of a calm human commander appeared on screen. He was middle-aged, dressed in a simple uniform. Admiral Rickon, he said, you have entered Sol system without invitation. This is an act that can only be answered by defense. Turn back now. Earth does not seek conflict, but we will not surrender. Rickon stood silent for a moment. He had expected fear or confusion, not steady resolve. He replied, you stand against the full power of the Council. This will not end well for you. The human commander's eyes remained steady. We have faced the impossible before and survived. We will do so again. The signal ended. Rickon turned to his officers. Prepare to move forward. We will take position near Earth's orbit and demonstrate our control. Begin with caution. No unnecessary damage. The alien ships began to advance once again. The human fleet adjusted, keeping exact distance. The two forces moved like reflections of each other, neither willing to back away. In Geneva, Commander Liu watched the slow dance unfold on the screen. They think we are a simple world, he said. Let them see what unity looks like. The solar system seemed quiet at first. From afar, the alien coalition fleet appeared to glide effortlessly toward Earth, its massive hulls shining under the sun. The humans watched from hidden satellites, orbital stations, and the lunar bases. They waited not in fear but with determination and precision. Every movement of the fleet had been studied, every weak point recorded, and every strategy rehearsed. Humanity had prepared for this day for decades quietly, without the knowledge of the galaxy. Commander Liu stood in the central command room under Geneva. Around him, officers and scientists monitored the positions of alien ships, calculating trajectories, energy levels, and communication patterns. Phase 3 begins now, he said firmly. Activate the counter-strike network. Across the moon's dark surface, human engineers activated the first wave of orbital devices. They were not weapons of destruction, but instruments of control and disruption. Thousands of small autonomous drones silently moved into formation, creating barriers and guidance signals to confuse the alien fleet's sensors. Their designs were simple yet effective, each one equipped with the latest in artificial intelligence to adapt to incoming threats. In the alien fleet, Admiral Riken noticed the change almost immediately. Sensors report anomalies ahead, his officer said. Objects moving in coordinated patterns. They are not firing, but they are controlling space. Riken frowned. What is their intent? They do not strike, yet they do not retreat. They are human, the officer replied. They think differently. Their ships are smaller, but they act as one. The admiral narrowed his eyes. Very well. Observe, but do not underestimate them. From Mars orbital stations, human engineers monitored the fleet's response. They are confused, said one technician. Their formation is breaking, but they are advancing anyway. Their arrogance is remarkable. Commander Liu smiled. Good, let them learn. We do not need to attack to gain the advantage. Suddenly, the first coordinated human maneuvers began. Swarms of small, nimble craft rose from hidden stations behind asteroids and moons. They approached the alien fleet from angles that sensors had predicted. Appearing as if from nowhere, the aliens attempted to track them, but the human ships moved in patterns that shifted constantly. Every maneuver the coalition made was countered before it could take effect. In the command deck of the Pride of Torai, Admiral Riken's officers shouted reports. Sir, they are appearing from multiple directions simultaneously. Their fleet is adapting faster than we anticipated. Riken took a deep breath. Keep calm. They cannot hold this for long. We are the largest force they have ever faced. Push forward carefully. The humans had not aimed to strike yet. Instead, their goal was to demonstrate capability. Each small craft transmitted signals that disrupted alien navigation systems and communications. The coalition ships began to drift slightly out of formation. Automated systems tried to compensate, but the human strategy was too clever. Every attempt to correct their movement triggered another subtle human maneuver, forcing constant adjustment. From Earth's command center, Commander Liu watched the screens filled with alien positions. Excellent, he said. They are overcompensating. Maintain pressure. Do not engage directly yet. Let their arrogance be their weakness. In orbit above the moon, human engineers activated another set of drones. These carried devices that emitted precise pulses of energy. The pulses did not harm life or hulls, but interfered with the energy shields and targeting systems of the alien ships. Coalition crews struggled to adjust, finding that weapons could not lock on, and shields fluctuated unpredictably. Riken's officers were stunned. Sir, the energy pulses are affecting our shields. We cannot stabilize them. Riken remained silent for a moment, his gaze fixed on the blue planet ahead. He realized that this was not a random attack. Humanity had planned every step, studied every weakness, and anticipated their strategy. Prepare for further disruption, he said. We cannot allow them to control the battlefield. Even as the coalition tried to stabilize, the humans introduced another layer of tactics. From Earth's hidden stations near Venus, swarms of drones deployed magnetic interference fields. These fields did not destroy ships, but they caused movement anomalies in alien navigation systems. Small course corrections by the alien vessels resulted in collisions with their own shadows, forcing them to slow down. Every adjustment made by the fleet opened another opportunity for humans to observe, record, and analyze. Back on Earth, Liu addressed his team. Remember, they are powerful, but they underestimate us. Every data point we collect now strengthens our position. Maintain discipline. Stay calm. The alien fleet began to recognize a pattern. The humans were not just defending. They were learning. Every reaction of the coalition was anticipated and countered almost immediately. One Dranic's captain whispered in disbelief. "They are predicting our moves." Recon's brow furrowed. "Impossible. They cannot see everything. They are human, not omniscient." "But they adapt faster than our machines, sir," another officer responded. "They adjust strategies in real time. It is unlike anything we have encountered." Recon clenched his fists. "Then we adapt as well. Launch drones to intercept their signals. Focus on control. They cannot dominate without direct confrontation." While the coalition scrambled, Earth's orbital network executed its next phase. Hidden platforms released tiny autonomous satellites that moved between alien ships, emitting pulses that scrambled targeting systems. The effect was immediate. Coalition weapons were unable to lock on accurately. Attempted communications between ships were delayed or distorted. The fleet, once confident, now hesitated. In the Lunar Command Center, engineers monitored the chaos. "They are losing coordination," one said. "They cannot communicate properly." "Good," Liu responded. "We do not need to attack. Observation and control are enough. Let them see how strong we have become." The alien commanders began to argue. Some suggested retreat. Others insisted on pressing forward. The division slowed decision-making across the entire fleet. Repeated attempts to restore order only highlighted the human advantage. For every action taken by the coalition, humanity had already planned a response. On Mars, engineers prepared the final part of the counterstrike, the human fleet itself. Sleek ships smaller than most coalition cruisers began to emerge from behind the red planet. They moved in perfect synchronization, forming a formation that appeared simple but was highly strategic. Each ship carried defensive energy fields, advanced sensors, and non-lethal disruption devices. Their mission was not to destroy, but to demonstrate capability, control, and precision. As the human ships moved forward, they transmitted messages to the coalition fleet. "We do not seek conflict," the messages read. "We only seek to protect our home and demonstrate our abilities. Respect our boundaries and our sovereignty." The alien fleet received the transmissions. Some officers laughed. Others scoffed. Admiral Recon, however, felt unease. "They are not afraid," he said. "They do not plead. They stand firm. This is unexpected." The human fleet reached the outer edge of Earth orbit. Their positioning cut off several coalition ships from effective coordination. The coalition attempted to engage, but every maneuver was anticipated and countered. Drones adjusted fields, satellites blocked energy signatures, and the humans maintained constant observation. For hours, the two forces remained in a tense standoff. Then, Commander Liu initiated the final element of Phase 3. Hidden drones projected holographic patterns across the vacuum of space. These patterns interfered with alien sensors and created the illusion of multiple human fleets approaching from unexpected directions. Coalition ships attempted to target them, only to realize that the threat was not real. Each reaction reinforced the humans' control of the battlefield. In the alien flagship, Recon pounded his fist against the console. "They are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. How can a young race achieve this level of coordination?" His second officer hesitated.
"Sir, their technology is simple, but their strategy is brilliant."
"They anticipate every move. Our size and power mean nothing if we cannot act in unity." Recon's expression darkened. He realized something important. Humanity had not just prepared defenses. They had prepared understanding. Every human action was guided by analysis, observation, and prediction. Their strength was in thought, not just in firepower. Back on Earth, Liu watched the reactions on alien monitoring channels. "They believe force alone can control us," he said. "They will learn that intelligence, unity, and preparation are stronger than arrogance." For the first time, Admiral Recon hesitated. He had expected fear. He had expected submission. What he faced instead was confidence, precision, and a willingness to stand firm. His fleet's weapons remained inactive because the humans did not provoke. Yet the coalition realized that even a single misstep could lead to chaos. The standoff continued through the day. Humanity did not attack. They observed, adapted, and demonstrated. Every alien move was cataloged, every pattern recorded. For the coalition, the solar system was no longer a path to dominance. It had become a lesson in caution, patience, and respect. By nightfall, Rank called a meeting of his top commanders. "We expected an easy demonstration of authority," he admitted. "We have found instead a race that commands." The coalition fleet hovered near Earth's orbit, a massive formation of metal and energy. Ships from 10 different species of the Galactic Council filled the sky. For days they had tried to dominate, to control, and to demonstrate authority, yet nothing they did seemed to have an effect. Every move had been anticipated, every signal intercepted, every attempt to assert power blocked or redirected. On the Pride of Torai, Admiral Rakan stared at the screens showing the positions of his fleet. "They are everywhere at once," he muttered. His officers were quiet. Even the most confident of them understood that this was no ordinary race. The humans had never struck directly, yet they held complete control of the battlefield. One officer finally spoke. "Sir, the humans are not afraid. They do not react to our presence as we expected. Our weapons are ready, yet they do not flee or surrender." Riken rubbed his forehead. "Correct. They are studying us. They are learning from us. And they are teaching us what happens when arrogance meets preparation." Across the solar system, Earth's orbital command centers were calm. Commander Liu and his officers moved quietly, observing, analyzing, and directing human forces with precision. Every probe, every satellite, and every ship played a part. They were not just defending. They were teaching a lesson in patience and intelligence. On Mars and the Moon, human engineers monitored the fleet. They had activated additional layers of drones and satellites to create subtle illusions of movement. Coalition sensors were overwhelmed with false readings, making it appear as if human fleets were multiplying across space. Every alien attempt to regroup or coordinate was interrupted by the humans' clever designs. In the command center beneath Geneva, Liu spoke to his team. "They think size is power. They think numbers decide the battle. They will learn that discipline, planning, and unity are stronger than fleets and weapons alone. Keep monitoring. Keep learning. This is our advantage." Meanwhile, the coalition fleet began to show signs of strain. The Draenix destroyers were constantly adjusting their shields against human interference. Vorn cruisers struggled to maintain formation as energy disruptions spread. The Torai carriers, massive and proud, now required constant manual corrections from their crews. Even their hyperdrives were slowed by subtle energy pulses from human devices. On the alien command ship, Admiral Riken called for a meeting of his top officers. They gathered around a holographic display of the solar system. "We face a young race," he began, his voice measured but firm. "One that does not attack yet commands the battlefield. Their fleets are small. Their weapons are not the most powerful, and yet they dictate the terms of engagement. I must ask, how do we proceed?" A Draenix captain spoke. "Sir, we can overwhelm them with numbers. Their ships are smaller and fewer than ours." Rakan shook his head. "We tried that with our presence. They are not intimidated. They adapt. They anticipate. They do not retreat. Force alone will not work." Another officer, a Vorn strategist, added, "They are learning faster than any young race we have encountered. They are treating this as a test, an experiment. Every move we make is catalogued, countered, and transformed into strategy. They are not merely defending, they are proving themselves." Rakan took a deep breath. "Then we have underestimated them. The Council believed this would be easy. We were wrong. We need to reconsider our approach." Far below, Earth rotated silently under the sun. Its oceans glimmered and cities sparkled with light. From orbit, humans observed the alien fleet with calm determination. No one panicked. Every scientist, every engineer, every fleet officer understood their role. They had studied every possible scenario, predicted alien reactions, and prepared countermeasures for every contingency. Commander Liu looked at the holographic displays showing the alien fleet. They expect fear. They expect chaos. They expect surrender. They will not receive it. Humanity has prepared for this moment for decades. They will learn that we are not a simple race. We are united. We are disciplined. We are ready. In orbit above Earth, the first human ships began their second phase. This time they were slightly larger, designed for coordinated movement with the hidden drones and satellites. They created formations that appeared as multiple fleets approaching from different angles. The coalition fleet struggled to respond. For every adjustment they made, humans countered before the move could take effect. The alien commanders were growing frustrated. "Their numbers are increasing," a Torai officer said. But these cannot be real ships. How do we respond? They are real, Rakin said quietly. And they are controlling the battlefield without firing a single shot. The silence across the fleet was unusual. Thousands of alien voices trained to command and control had grown quiet. They no longer issued orders with confidence. Each ship's captain hesitated before moving. Every attempt to reorganize was slowed by subtle interference from human devices. Even the most experienced fleet commanders admitted that they were facing something they had never encountered. In Geneva, Liu and his team observed the hesitation. They are surprised, he said. They believed their size and history gave them authority. They are learning that we do not surrender, we do not fear, and we do not give ground. On Mars, engineers prepared the final layer of human control. Small energy field generators were positioned along asteroid belts to create invisible barriers that affected the alien fleet's navigation systems. Ships moved slightly off course without realizing it. Every attempt to maintain formation required constant adjustment. By the time they corrected, human observation had already identified the new positions and adapted. In the alien command center, Rakon's second officer spoke. Sir, our fleet is holding, but coordination is failing. Communications are delayed. Shield integrity fluctuates across multiple ships. This is unprecedented, Rakon nodded slowly. I know they do not attack. They do not provoke. And yet they control the battle. They have made the solar system their own without a single strike. For the first time in the history of the Galactic Council, an entire fleet faced an enemy that demonstrated power through strategy, rather than destruction. Human observation, planning, and unity had created a system where even the largest ships could not act freely. The aliens realized that raw power alone was no longer enough to dominate. Back on Earth, Liu spoke to his officers. Remember, we fight not for dominance, but for respect. Every move we make is to show that humanity is united, prepared, and intelligent. We do not need to destroy to demonstrate strength. Let them see our capability without harming life unnecessarily. As the day continued, the coalition fleet slowed. The Dranics and Vorn cruisers struggled to maintain formation. The Tauri carriers required continuous manual correction. Even their largest weapons remained inactive because the humans did not fire. Every action taken by the aliens was anticipated and countered. The Luran ambassador in the Galactic Council observed the live feed of the fleet. They are remarkable, she said quietly. They do not attack, yet they command space. They do not fear, yet they control. They do not threaten, yet they teach. In the council chamber, Tharnell nodded slowly. It seems we have underestimated Earth. The council believed size, age, and power were enough to control a young race. They were mistaken. The humans are not just a species. They are a force shaped by discipline, unity, and strategy. Back in orbit, the alien commanders realized that their original plan had failed. Submission was impossible. Their fleet, once confident and ready to demonstrate authority, now hesitated at every move. Each action was slow, deliberate, and uncertain. Humanity had not struck a single blow, yet the coalition fleet was in disarray. Commander Liu observed the standoff and gave the final instruction for the day. Maintain position. Let them see that control comes not from fear, but from unity and intelligence. Every decision they make now is guided by their respect for our preparation. This is our victory. Even without a single shot fired, the aliens held their position. Silence filled the void above Earth. A silence that was heavy with astonishment. The coalition fleet was still vast and powerful, yet it was no longer confident. Their pride had been challenged by a young race that had never initiated conflict, yet had proved its strength beyond measure. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council watched a species demonstrate mastery not by war, but by wisdom, preparation, and unity. Humanity had done the impossible. They had brought a fleet of thousands to a standstill without firing a single weapon. They had proven that raw power was not the measure of strength. On Earth, people watched the sky. From their cities, deserts, and oceans, they observed the movement of alien ships far above. Children asked questions about what they saw. Scientists and engineers quietly worked to ensure every system continued functioning. Families spoke in hushed tones of pride, not fear. Humanity had stood together and the world knew it. In orbit, hidden drones continued monitoring the alien fleet, collecting every bit of data. Every movement, every reaction, every hesitation was recorded. This was not just defense. It was proof that humanity could face any challenge, adapt, and emerge stronger. As night fell over the solar system, the coalition fleet remained in position. It had not advanced. It had not withdrawn. It had learned to respect a young race that had not even fought. Humanity had proven that intelligence, preparation. The Galactic Council watched in silence. Holographic screens in the Grand Chamber displayed live feeds of the solar system. Thousands of council representatives leaned forward, their eyes wide with disbelief. The coalition fleet, the most powerful force the council had ever assembled, had been brought to a standstill. Not by superior weapons, not by overwhelming numbers, but by humanity's unity, intelligence, and preparation. Tharnell, the Speaker of the Council, remained calm, but his hands rested tensely on the podium. "They have done the impossible," he said softly. "A young species, untested in interstellar conflict, has neutralized our fleet without a single strike. How is this possible?" The Luran ambassador, who had long advocated for humanity, spoke quietly. "They have shown us the strength of discipline, strategy, and observation. They do not fight recklessly. They do not attack unnecessarily. And yet, they have demonstrated mastery over even our most experienced fleets." Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. Some representatives could not believe what they were seeing. Others whispered to their neighbors, trying to make sense of it. The council, long accustomed to commanding younger species, had never witnessed anything like this. Back in orbit above Earth, the coalition fleet hovered in hesitation. Admiral Recon's ships were intact, but the crews were shaken. Every attempt to advance had been countered. Every maneuver anticipated, every system disrupted. The fleet had not suffered destruction, but it had lost control. Confidence had evaporated. Recon studied the holographic displays showing human movements. "They have not fired a single weapon," he muttered to himself. "They have done everything without aggression, and yet we cannot act freely." One of his officers, a Dranic strategist, spoke. "Sir, they have learned from our actions. Every adjustment we make is reflected back at us. They do not act blindly. They act with foresight and intelligence. This is unlike anything we have ever encountered." Recon nodded slowly. "Prepare a report for the council. We must inform them. Humanity cannot be treated as a minor threat or a young race. They are exceptional." On Earth, Commander Liu observed the coalition fleet with calm eyes. His officers were nervous, but he reassured them. "Do not underestimate them," he said. "They are powerful, but they now understand that we are not to be commanded. We do not need to strike first. We simply need to stand united. Our preparation has done the work for us." Across lunar and Martian bases, engineers and fleet officers continued monitoring. Every movement of the alien ships was catalogued. Every energy reading was recorded. Humanity had proven that knowledge and discipline could dominate even a superior force. The coalition fleet remained in position, unable to advance, unwilling to retreat. Each day of hesitation brought more astonishment to the council representatives. They began to question their assumptions about human weakness and the value of force. In the council chamber, Tharnell spoke again. "This is unprecedented. The council has faced rebellion, aggression, and defiance, but nothing like this. They do not attack. They do not provoke. They simply exist with intelligence, and that has forced our most powerful fleets into hesitation." The Luran ambassador smiled quietly. "This is why I have always believed in humanity. Their power is not in their weapons, but in their mind and their unity. They have proven that a species can shape the galaxy without destruction, only through preparation and courage." Across the solar system, humanity continued its demonstration. Small fleets and drones moved in perfect synchronization, showing the coalition that any attempt to act recklessly would be anticipated and countered. At the same time, humans maintained strict rules of engagement. No weapon fired unnecessarily. No lives were endangered, and every maneuver emphasized control rather than chaos. Admiral Recon finally made a decision. "Send a message to the council," he ordered. "Humanity cannot be controlled through conventional methods. They must be acknowledged for their capability and autonomy. The council must understand that this is not a race to be dominated lightly." The transmission was sent. In the grand chamber of the council, representatives watched the holographic feed of Recon's message. For the first time, the voice of a coalition admiral spoke directly to the council with concern rather than confidence. "Honored members," Recon said, "humanity has neutralized our fleet without aggression. Our attempts to demonstrate authority have failed. They act with unity, intelligence, and foresight. They are not a young race to be commanded. They must be treated as equals and respected for their capability. The chamber fell silent. No one spoke for several long moments. The council, long accustomed to issuing decrees and expecting compliance, had never faced such a challenge. Humanity had done what no other species had achieved. They had forced the council's most powerful fleet into restraint without a single attack. Tharnell finally stood. "It seems we have misjudged Earth," he said. "They are not to be controlled. They are not to be underestimated. We must acknowledge their sovereignty and intelligence. The Council must reconsider its policies regarding young species. Humanity has proven that respect is earned through unity, strategy, and foresight, not through fear or force." The Luran ambassador stepped forward. "Speaker Tharnell, the Council must learn from this. Humanity has shown us a new way to measure strength, not by fleets or weapons, but by preparation, cooperation, and intelligence. This is the example we should follow for future interactions with emerging species." Across the solar system, Admiral Riken watched the reactions of the Council. "It is done," he said quietly. "We have failed to command them, and we must report this truth. They have earned respect. We can no longer proceed with our original plan." Commander Liu observed the fleet from Earth. "They understand now," he said. "They see that we are prepared, that we are united, and that we are capable. They respect us because they cannot ignore us. This is what it means to protect our home with wisdom and discipline." On Mars, human engineers watched as coalition ships began minor adjustments, retreating slightly to stabilize formation. Their pride was tempered with newfound caution. They had expected submission and received strategy instead. The lesson was clear. Humanity was not to be underestimated. In the council chamber, debates began about the next steps. Representatives discussed recognition, autonomy, and the future of interstellar relations with Earth. Many were still in shock. Some argued that the council must formally apologize for underestimating the humans. Others insisted that new protocols must be established to prevent similar underestimations. Tharnell spoke once more. "Let this be a moment of learning for the council. Humanity has shown the galaxy that a young race can rise through intelligence, preparation, and unity. We must respect their autonomy. We must treat them as equals. They have proven that control is not gained through fear, but through capability and discipline." On Earth, celebrations were quiet but meaningful, not because a battle had been won, but because the world had demonstrated its strength without destruction. Families, scientists, engineers, and fleet officers understood that humanity had achieved something greater than victory. They had gained respect not through aggression, but through preparation and wisdom. Commander Liu addressed his officers. "Today we have proven something important. The galaxy now knows that humanity is a force of unity and intelligence. We do not need to strike to show strength. Our preparation, our discipline, and our courage are enough. The Council has seen it. The Coalition fleet has seen it. And the galaxy will remember it." In orbit, Coalition commanders shared private messages. "We underestimated them," Adranic's captain admitted. "We believed numbers and weapons were enough. We were wrong. They have forced us to respect them without firing a single shot." Admiral Riken nodded. "This is a lesson we will not forget. Humanity is not to be commanded. They are a race to be observed, respected, and if necessary, negotiated with carefully. Their future is theirs to shape." Across the galaxy, news of the solar system's standoff began to spread. Other races watched in astonishment. The blue planet that had once been considered minor was now recognized as a symbol of unity, intelligence, and foresight. Humanity had proven that a young species could command respect without destruction, and the lesson resonated across stars. In the quiet of Geneva, Commander Liu and his team looked at the stars above. "We have done more than protect our home," he said softly. "We have shown the galaxy that strength is measured not by weapons but by unity, preparation, and courage. The Council has learned this lesson and they will not forget it." Above Earth, the alien fleet remained in orbit, no longer advancing aggressively. Their pride had been humbled, their confidence tempered. They could see clearly that humanity would not surrender, would not be intimidated, and would not bow. The lesson had been taught. In the council chamber, Tharnell concluded the session. "Earth has changed the way we view young species. They have demonstrated what it means to be united, disciplined, and intelligent. The Council will honor this, and we will remember the lesson for generations." On Earth, people looked up at the sky, not in fear, but with pride. Humanity had faced the galaxy's most powerful fleet and emerged unchallenged, respected, and prepared for the future. And thus, the solar system belonged to humans, not by domination, but by wisdom.